With a brand new F1 season right around the corner, it is time to ask a very important question. Who is on the hot seat heading on in to the 2026 Formula One season? And we will answer that question today, but first, before we get into it, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the Zuck TV YouTube channel as well, and also click that bell to be notified of when I post next, because I'll be releasing content all throughout the 2026 Formula One season. And now with that out of the way, let's get into this video. So I'm going to start with the elephant in the room, and that's Franco Colapinto. Now, Flavio Briatore was very clear last year, especially with Jack Doohan, that poor results means you're gone. Now, I know the Alpine car last year was not fantastic, but they brought in Franco Colapinto to try and bring a little bit more of an experienced driver to the wheel. And well, Franco did bring more of that, but with that, he really did not bring much success to the team. Looking at his stats, I mean, he raced in 18 of the 24 races. He collected 0 points, and he was only top 15 8 of those times. So 10 of those races, he finished outside the top 15. I'm being generous by putting top 15. If I put top 10, well, obviously he got no points, so it was clearly 0. So Franco has had a bit of an issue in that Alpine car heading into this season, and he also had some issues when it came to, well, causing damage to the car. There were a couple of times that Franco caused some damage, and that really hurt his chances in any race possible. He also crashed his car during a Pirelli tire test in Hungary last summer as well. So if we do see a continuation of this with no points, poor race results, possibly some more damage that will cost the Alpine team, I really do believe that we could see the end of Franco Colapinto in an Alpine car, and really who knows where we could see him next if it's in Formula One at all. Now, this next person on my list might come to a surprise for some, but in my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. It is team principal Fred Vasseur. Yes, the Ferrari team principal is on my radar. And why is that? Well, I look at Fred Vasseur, he was brought in a few years ago, and he brought new life to this Ferrari team that has been down for a long time now. Obviously, they've not won a drivers' championship since Kimi Räikkönen in 2008. They haven't won a constructors' championship in very long. So Fred was kind of brought in to kind of make that not that much long ago. But now what's happened here is a little bit of a dip in form last season, and that could be brought into this year as, a little bit of eye candy. Looking at 2024, now this team finished second into the Constructors' Championship with 652 points. Remember, it went down to the final race with McLaren. They had 5 race wins on the season. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc were phenomenal near the end of the 2024 season. It comes to 2025, and less than 400 points, not even a single race win. Lewis Hamilton, who was brought on as like this new face, obviously we know what Lewis Hamilton has done, did not have a great season either. And it was kind of shocking to see a Ferrari lineup of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton not get either a single win. And the car did not get any better than what was in 2024. So that shocked a lot of people. So I believe heading into 2026, there's going to be a lot of eyes on Fred Vasseur, because if they have another down year like this, he could be out the door. Now, of course, we also have to talk about Red Bull. Now, obviously, Isaac Hadjar is in that second seat with Max Verstappen. We'll see how that goes for them. But my eyes are going to be on Liam Lawson. Now, Liam Lawson was a part of that Red Bull team just last year, which kind of shocked a lot of people that they went with him and not Yuki Tsunoda at the start of the year. And I think the fans were kind of right at being shocked about that, because what happened was not really that good. You look at his start last season in 2025, the Australian Grand Prix, qualified 18th in that Red Bull car, by the way, 18th. He didn't even make it to the end of the race. He retired when the weather was going all kooky and whatnot, if you remember that. But then they had to China, and they had the sprint race, qualified 20th. He did finish 14th, but he qualified 20th again in that Red Bull car, and it's merely the same image for the GP. Qualified 20th, finished 12th, and that's what costed Liam Lawson his job in the main Red Bull team, and he got swapped out with Yuki Tsunoda for Racing Bulls. Now, why is he on my list as being on the hot seat? Well, in my opinion, if he has another start like this season with Racing Bulls, he could be gone yet again. Now, obviously, Liam Lawson has had good potential looked at him. Obviously, Red Bull put him into that main chair. They felt like he has enough potential to do very, very well. If he has another bad season, a bad start to the season, more of that, what are they going to think about him, right? Now, yes, he did finish last year with points and whatnot and decent finishes, but that's also in a more comfortable car of that Racing Bull. We'll have to see what happens this year. And I think if we see a mirror image of what we saw last year, that could be it for Liam Lawson in a Red Bull car. Now, my next pick for this video, a bit of a long shot because there's not much all that there, but it could be a bit of a storyline throughout the season, and that is the drivers for Audi and Cadillac. Now, obviously, we know Cadillac is the brand new team in Formula One. Audi is taking over for Sauber, but the reasoning I'm putting them in this video is because with new regimes and maybe new teams, these teams might be looking for success right away. And if they have those high expectations and their drivers are not performing to those expectations, they could be gone. Now, for Cadillac, both these drivers, between Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas, both their last season was in 2024. Now, Sergio Perez was in that Red Bull. He finished 8th, and a lot of people that year did not like how he drove that car. He really struggled in especially a car like that, which was so dominant for the majority of the season. And then when you look at Valtteri Bottas, he was in that Sauber car also in 2024. He finished 22nd. But both these drivers have had success in the past, so I think that's what Cadillac is going off of. So that's why I don't believe there might not be movement between these two, but I felt like adding them into this video. When I look at Audi, it's going to be totally determined on what their expectations are. Because Hülkenberg and Bortoleto were great drivers for Sauber, but will that be able to translate for Audi if Audi's expectations are pretty high of the two? Now, Hülkenberg has had a lengthy Formula One career. Bortoleto, a very short-lived so far, but he has a lot of potential. And looking at last year, I mean, Hülkenberg finished 11th, Bortoleto finished 19th, and they both had some pretty good finishes throughout the season for Sauber. So my interesting thought here is, are these the two that are the most vulnerable out of the 4 of this pack? Because if Audi has high expectations, I feel like these two will definitely be on the chopping block early if there's any trouble. Now, Bortoleto, I feel like they might keep on a bit more than Hülkenberg because of his potential, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But I just wanted to put these two teams in there because I feel like it's a little storyline depending on how well they think they are going to do throughout this season. Now, this final driver might shock a lot of you, and it's Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton. Now, I can understand why some people at home right now just threw a brick at their TV saying, why Lewis? Lewis is one of the greatest drivers of all time. Why would Ferrari sack Lewis Hamilton? Lewis, as I mentioned when I spoke about Fred Vasseur, Lewis was brought in to give Ferrari a chance at winning another Constructors' Championship and win more races. But when it came to 2025, there was none of that. Look at this. 0 wins, 156 points. He DNF'd 4 times, especially down the stretch of that last season. 4 times he got disqualified as well, 1 time, although that was more of a team issue because Charles Leclerc got disqualified too, so there's not much to really look at there. But when you talk about how great Lewis Hamilton is all time, and then you look at his 2025 season, you'd be like, oh, he must have driven for a bad team. No, he drove for Ferrari. Like, the Ferrari. Formula One class. And he had 0 wins. I mean, that's just mind-boggling right there. But what really hurt him as well in 2025 was his qualifying. And the thing about these statistics is, you wouldn't believe this is Lewis Hamilton, but it is, in a Ferrari of all things. I mean, he only finished in the top 3 once, top 10 15 times, he exited out of Q2 5 times, and Q1 4 times. I mean, in a Ferrari, you shouldn't be getting out in Q2 at all. You should be in the top 10 shootout every single time, or almost every single time, and yet here we are. I don't want to harp on Lewis, because again, he is the greatest driver we've ever seen in Formula One, but if he has another rough season like this, we could be saying sayonara to Lewis and possibly Ferrari. Now, I don't know if Ferrari will bite that bullet. I feel like they'll want to keep Lewis all the way till the end. But in my opinion, if you don't get the results, especially from a driver that has such a high pedigree, I feel like you could be running into trouble. And I hate to be saying that about Lewis Hamilton because of his history, but in Formula One, you got to get results. And if you don't get it, you're out of there. So there you have it, everyone. That's who I believe is on the hot seat heading into the 2026 Formula One season. Let me know down below who you think is on the hot seat for Formula One. And then also leave a like on the video if you have not yet, and subscribe to the Zuck TV YouTube channel, and also ring that bell to be notified of when I post next, because like I said earlier, I'll be doing stuff all throughout the Formula One season. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the start of the 2026 season. Peace.